Viewers can support our channel by purchasing Book 1 of our supernatural fantasy series, with links in the description. And in that hour of invasion, the Marchioness of the Waves declared upon the beaches of Kells, as her ancestress had before her time,
"My standard is set and blood hot. Are thee men? Nay, thee are males, tall, proud, and free folk. My womb carrier and exarchess was Scalia ever hotblood, the Reaver Maxima Regina. I lay my claim upon this principality through her consortship and gene seed of the giant slayer, High Prince Darvael, who conquered these isles by supernatural power. Both human and creature blood flow in my veins. Folk of Kells. I adhere to the Reaver motto, obliteration, vel victoria."
The passage proclaimed does not do the subject justice, for its place is at the end of the tale of the female Reavers of the Waves, whom even the fierce duchesses of the Sapphire Isles respected. This present humble sketch concerns a very rough draft concept of the Vahdor lore of the birth of one of the most epic savage female hybrid human characters of pre-flood Earth. The writing is in raw form, and barely begins to discover the creature that would forever change the destiny of a great prince, a mighty realm and the very course of pre-flood Earth history. Born the last whelp of 7 offspring, and amongst her siblings, the frailest in substance and appearance, for when her womb carrier released her, the infant was still and silent, and was taken as a stillborn birth. Her male father took the offspring to cast her into the sea. Out he threw the wee body, and weeping, he turned to leave. But a piercing cry was heard, not of fear, but defiance. He beheld the tiny one nestled between the jaws of a burning crimson Leviathan. The sea beast scourge of the waves gripped the infant, but had ne'er penetrated the flesh. The little one's eyes burned with a blazing haze, almost as if on fire, as the father reached to take the infant. His hand was slashed by the fingers of the female. The impact stung sharply like Leviathan teeth, and the strike felt as hard as scales. Hot blood ran down his fingers and dripped upon the forehead of the infant, running down the sides of her cheeks. With eyes still hot in gaze but cold sensation, the male touched his fingers together and smiled. He reached out again, and this time, when his hand approached, the little creature slashed its small hand at him once more. The strike again stung bitterly, causing him to acknowledge the pain with a light cry. But he bent his brow angrily. Her eyes glared back at him. "Enough!" he cried, and leaned forward, snatching the infant from the Leviathan's jaws. As the female struggled and cried out, the Leviathan stared at the male figure in an almost approving fashion, then turned about and submerged itself under the currents. While he held the infant, she struggled in the arms of her father, pushing away from him, but continuing to stare right into his eyes. With blood still flowing, the male took his index finger and marked the infant's head thrice, then declared her Scalia ever hot blood. The blood blazed brilliantly upon the fair ivory-white color of her forehead. "You are the youngest of my brood. A hard road for thee shall it be, but utter glory shall be yours if you be boldly shrewd. I sense in the Aeosia of the firmament that it shall someday be thee that will secure the future of our folk, forever at odds. He will be with males and men, vice desiring their love. Yet, if thee ever do succumb to the dominance of the renowned men and exarchs, it will be your fall, but also your finest hour, which thy brood offspring shall gain and avenge. This shall be thy path, thy bond, my little wave treader." He pressed his fingers to her beating heart, and her resistance softened as he kissed her mark and spake, "Scalia, remembrance, vice romance is your cause. It is thee who shall be revealed, and thy hand may yet uproot the foundations of our world and beyond." And she grew as terrible as any a war fleet set in array. But the rest of this saga lore has yet to be told. This concept is copyrighted 2024 by Novus Renaissance, the home of the supernatural fantasy series Vahdor and its lost legends and sagas of pre-flood Earth. Come and join us on an epic adventure and discover our books, music, merch, and the inspiration of your imagination.